Franchise Sports Media!
What's going on, fight fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I'm your host, Klein Little, and man, oh man, do we have a lot to get into, so let's jump into it right now. Despite everything else that's going on, despite the news, the big boxing going on, the event that just happened overseas for the UFC, what's coming up for the UFC, we have to talk about the retirement of the GOAT, the greatest of all time, regardless of what anybody wants to say. Jon Bones Jones has retired from the UFC. I don't know how to feel about it, guys. I really don't know how to feel about this because you're looking at truly one of the greatest resumes in mixed martial arts history. One of the inside the cage, bar none, head and shoulders above everybody else. And yet outside the cage, he was one of the most frustrating men to ever have to deal with. So let's just dive into his quick resume, shall we? Jon Jones, greatest of all time, 28 wins, 1 loss. Now, his 1 loss came from an illegal elbow, 12-6 on Matt Hamill, dominating the fight. The referee should have been jumped in and stopped it, but no. Jones hits him with it, allowed the disqualification. So that is a loss. But he's never technically officially lost to anybody inside the UFC, despite what the naysayers want to say. I don't care about the first time against Alexander Gustafsson. I don't care about Dominic Reyes. He beat him. 28-1, youngest UFC champion of all time at 23 years old. He took that fight against Shogun Rua on less than 3 weeks' notice and went in there and dominated the Brazilian. Then you got the most UFC title wins, 22. Longest undefeated streak, 20. 2 division champions, 2 times. Longest light heavyweight title reign, never been knocked down, never even been knocked down. Think about the men that Jon Jones has faced. In no particular order. Shogun Rua, Ryan Bader, Lyoto Machida, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, Alexander Gustafsson, Daniel Cormier, Cyril Gane, Stipe Miocic, etc. Never even been knocked down. Not once. Now, he's been taken down. Gustafsson was the first one to do it, and now it's on 2 weeks' notice for this man partying a little bit too much and didn't take it seriously. Oh, this guy's going to be nothing to me. I could easily go in there and defeat this dude. But Jon Jones, when it comes to putting it all together, there's better strikers, there's better wrestlers, there's better submission artists. But when it comes to putting everything together, mixed martial arts, he has proven time and time again, he's the greatest to ever step inside that cage and do it. Again, outside the cage, one of the most frustrating individuals who consistently kept messing up. And again, that's not necessarily a fault because we are human. We're not perfect. But you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again because it shows you're not learning from your mistakes. You're not learning from your faults, your mishaps, your troubles. If this man would have kept his stuff clean several times, who knows what type of run he could have went on, despite the run he already went on. You look at Jon Jones, and you say, okay, if we were to build a perfect fighter, I want to have good size. Has that, 6'4.5", 6'5". Have good reach. He's got like 100. He's got like 107 reach. It's more like 84.5, but still, over everybody. Be able to kick, be able to wrestle, be able to throw some strikes, have a good chin, good cardio, knows when to dig deep when he's down in the fight, and is able to put everything together and stick to the game plan without varying off of it too much. And you know what? Let's just sprinkle in some spinning elbows, some flying knees, some German suplexes. He really hit a German suplex in the match on Stephan Bonner. Go figure. You would have thought you was watching WWE. Jon Jones has shown every single time he stepped into that cage, it's not a matter of if I'm going to win, it's when and how I'm going to win. 2 times against Daniel Cormier, 2 times against Alexander Gustafsson. This is how great Jon Jones is. Gustafsson came the closest to defeating him the first time. That got him put on the cover of the UFC video game. That's how good, in a loss, he got voted to be put on the UFC video game cover. That's how awesome Jon Jones is at his height in career. And again, long stints, layoffs because of out-of-the-cage incidences. I know he had the PED issues. Again, a picogram, how much is in your system? And then again, we didn't test every single body. So we sit here going to say, well, Jones, you failed the test. Are we gonna sit here and turn a blind eye and say, well, all the other guys, we know they weren't dirty. We know they were all clean. Sound like baseball in the 90s. Okay, the big names, yeah, we speculate whether we know it or not, but like Barry Bonds, hey, did you really cheat? We suspect you did. You got the big head growing. You started knocking them out, but did you really? You never failed the test, but we kind of speculate that you did. Does that mean everyone else before the 90s were all clean? 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, all those guys was clean? History has shown there has been multiple ways to get an advantage in cheating sports, but we only pick out the ones who either get caught or the ones who are speculated, as we only want to hold that over them. And so I'm sorry. For me personally, I know there's others like Ariel Helwani and others who have said they don't even care about that. They do not consider him the GOAT. I do. John Jones is the greatest of all time because when it comes to being in there, he's been in there with known PED users. He's been in there with suspected PED users. He's been in there with guys who are clean as a whistle. Dominated them all. Made them all look like they were second comings, like they were leftovers. So for John Jones, frustrating as hell outside the cage, but nonetheless, when he stepped inside, one of the most dominant fighters we have ever seen. Here's what's so awesome about his dominance. Look at some of his fights against Glover Teixeira, Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, etc., etc. Lyoto Machida, what did he do? He fought their style against them and defeated them. He stood toe-to-toe with Glover Teixeira, 25-win streak, boxer, strong hands. He said, oh, really? Let me hit this Ray Lewis dance one time before I come on out here. I'm going to stand toe-to-toe with you and see how good you really are. Stood up against the cage, bop, 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 rocking the body with hooks. Oh, let me get this right. Lyota's a stand-up guy. Karate master, hooray! He's really good. Let's see how good you really are. Stood up with him. He got tagged a couple times, but then was able to make the adjustments, dropped him, submission, dropped him again, done. Oh, you're supposed to be a good wrestler, Chael Sonnen. You're supposed to be the guy who utilizes your wrestling better than anyone else. Let me put you down on the ground one time and yaka, yaka, yaka. Oh, Daniel Cormier, you're an Olympic level wrestler. You wrestled at a higher level than me, despite me telling you, hey, I think I could beat you. Let me take you down one time and beat you, not once, but twice. Oh, and Daniel Cormier, the second time, when you told me that I wasn't going to win via a head kick, I won with a head kick. So, yeah, he literally has told you what he's going to do, and he went out and did it. He fought the who's who of it. And again, without his out-of-the-cage issues, we could have seen other matchups. Was there a potential that him and Brock Lesnar could have fought? Possibly. How awesome would that have been? At that particular point, we should have told USADA, take a break, take 5, give them all the stuff. Take everything you can, buddy. We want to see everybody in this one jacked. John Jones retiring. Shout out to him. It's unfortunate because he leaves a sour taste in all of our mouths because there's that fight with Tom Aspinall. Here's my take on the Tom Aspinall-John Jones fight for real. John Jones is at the stage in his career where he's like, listen, I fought the who's who. I've been the marquee guy. I've been the lead guy on most of my cards. Floyd Mayweather said this once during his reign. I can't just fight guys for the sake of fighting them. At some point, I need to fight guys whose name bring value to my events so that I can maximize my profits when I'm out there fighting. It can't just be a fight card that's related on my name alone. My opponent needs to have a decent name as well. Hence why fighting the Pacquiaos, the Canelos, the Cottos, the Mosleys made a lot of sense. Now people say, oh, well, you fought them later in the career. Boo-ha, boo-ha, boo-ha. Y'all know how it works in fighting. Takes 2, if not 3, to tango. Well, for John Jones, he's like, well, wait a minute. Tom Aspinall may be the top heavyweight right now. And shout out to Tom. He might go on a run, especially when you look at the heavyweight division right now. He might go on a run and break the 3-title defense record in the UFC heavyweight division. But John Jones is looking at it and saying, okay, do I really need to fight this guy who's big only in the MMA world? Think about the guys he wanted to fight before Tom Aspinall's name really became the only one option out there. Francis Ngannou. Yeah, I want to fight Francis Ngannou, one of the most popular heavyweights out there, one of the most spectacular knockout artists out there. This fight right here, especially with the idea of the UFC going to Africa to do a fight and me and him headline the first Africa card, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'll take that. The next one was Alex Pereira, who went on an amazing run, came down and just lit the UFC on fire. Okay, I'll take him on. He's the one at middleweight. He's one at light heavyweight. Come on up here. The story then is Pereira defeated Israel Adesanya, dominating middleweight, dominating the light heavyweight, going after a record 3rd UFC title, taking on the greatest of all time. Both of their entrances, the look, the style clash, yes, please. That's global. Tom Aspinall is mom and pops at It's a mom and pop shop. Real good. But we kind of need Netflix now, not Blockbuster. We kind of need something a little bit more on the everyone knows it side. Marquee event. And John Jones is like, listen, no disrespect to Tom, but I've been through it all. I've gone through it all. I don't have the motivation to go out there and fight this dude because he's not on that particular level as far as global recognition. And again, I know MMA fans are going to sit here and bash me for it. But even Dana White says, yeah, I'm in the business of giving you holy shit moments. Tom May gave us one against John Jones. But then again, the marquee is John Jones. Aspinall, in the MMA bubble, huge star. Outside of it, I mean, we're seeing the other guys that I named, they're on ESPN being mentioned. They're on SportsCenter being mentioned. Tom, he's on the MMA show that they have on there, middle of the night, that it's hard to know when exactly that they show it. This is no disrespect to Tom Aspinall, even though it sounds like it. But at this particular point in time, Tom Aspinall is not the biggest name that John Jones can necessarily fight. George St. Pierre, okay, if I'm at the end of my career, I got to have a reason for it. I got to have a reason to come back. I got to have a reason to fight these guys. I'm not just fighting guys for the sake of, I just want to fight. No, give me big names out there. Give me guys who are relatable, who I could potentially go out there and fight. A la why Dana said, do you want to come back and fight Khabib? What about you and Conor McGregor? Oh, you'll come back and fight Michael Bisping. We've heard it time and time again from fighters who have retired. Hey, man, I'm just tired of waking up. I'm tired of sparring. I'm tired of running. The great middleweight boxing champion, Marvelous Hagler, RIP, said it's hard to run 5 miles when you're waking up in silk sheets. At some point, it wears on you. Now, I know we love to build people up just to see them fall. But John Jones was like, wait a minute, y'all want me to tarnish my resume, my legacy, my greatness, just so you can see me lumped up with an L and say, oh, you know what, guys, I just don't have it anymore. I'm done, and I just want my kids to see me like this, so I'm out of here. And then you move on? No. This is not professional wrestling where you lose to pass the torch on to the next guy to carry the company forward. No. So while I would have loved to have seen this fight, I also understand why John Jones didn't want it. I also understand why John Jones says, wait a minute, wait. You want me to do what now? You want me to just fight somebody who's big in the UFC? Who, let's be honest, up until it was known that Tom Aspinall was going to fight John Jones, who? It wasn't like that. I've been to weigh-ins. I've been to press conferences. I've been to events out here in Las Vegas. Casual MMA fans for a long time didn't know who Tom Aspinall was. I did because it's the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. We got this stuff. But they weren't very sure of him. He got the popularity doing everything he needed to do. And shout out to Tom for being a good sport with this. Good day, mate. Seriously. He played along with it with the ducks and tweeting at him. But John's like, hey, man, I get it, but you're not on that level to call me out yet. What if we always said about other athletes, you try to talk trash to Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, well, hey, man, show some respect. You're not even at that level yet to call them out. That's what Jones is saying. Jones is literally saying, this dude isn't at the level to call me out. He might be the number one contender, but that doesn't mean automatically he gets to jump to the front of the line, especially in front of Pereira, Ngannou, Brock Lesnar, X, Y, and Z, if Lesnar was an option. But I just don't see that. I see that as a valid reason. I really do. This isn't me nut hugging John Jones. This isn't me, oh, man, you just know. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of we've seen time and time again fighters on both the male and female side try to do one last run. Try to get one more in. I just got it. And you kind of got that feeling like, I don't think you do. It'd be great if you did. I don't think this one, especially coming back for the matchup. What did Dana White always said? If you're already thinking about retirement, you're one foot out, go ahead and retire. There's no need for it. And Dana did everything he could to protect John Jones, keep him as a heavyweight champion because he knew how big this fight was going to be. But again, he also knew this fight was going to be so big because it's John Jones. What do you think would have been the lead into it? John Jones's last fight. This is John Jones's last fight. Now, we could go the other route and say, when you get certain people that look a little different than each other and they face off, we could promote that as well, especially, unfortunately, this day and time in our society. But nonetheless, you're looking at John Jones' last fight, most likely in New York, hometown, Madison Square Garden. It's going to be special. It's going to be epic. All that is John Jones led. And Jones is saying, hey, man, this is great. I need my opponent to be out there as well to carry the load. I want to be paid correctly for this. Hence why him and Ngannou couldn't be able to come to an agreement. Ngannou even said, yeah, I want to be paid accordingly. We're going out here doing the biggest fights of the year, and yet we're not being paid even a fraction of what these boxers are making. Now, sure, on the back end, you know, throw a bonus here, little bam, 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 wham, bam. Hey, what about this right here? Fall for back of a truck. UFC can take care of their fighters that way, but they're like, hey, I need my bottom line to also speak this too. So, I say all that just to say, for Jon Jones to go out there and retire and say, hey, I'm done, it's sad, but I also feel we should be rejoicing the fact that, yes, he's retiring early, but we got to live through his era. I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody says today. During his run, just like with Conor McGregor's run, we were all memorized by it. We were all caught up in it. It was awesome. Got to be live at a couple of his fights. Was there for him in DC1. It was awesome to see his aura when he steps in and then he stepped in the cage. And again, it's not a matter of if I'm going to win. It's when and how. So I say this to Jon Jones. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for all that you've given to the world of mixed martial arts. Enjoy retirement, young man. Hey, I'd love to see if I could ever talk to you sitting across someday and we just top it up sometime. But we do have to move on. The train will go on. Tom Aspinall is now the UFC heavyweight champion. Now, his fight against he might fight Ciryl Gane next, but his fight against Curtis Blades will not count as a title defense. So, Tom Aspinall now is a UFC heavyweight champion. We'll see who his first title defense is against. I'll tell you what, all this trash talk y'all talking about Jon Jones, Aspinall better not get smoked in his first title defense. I'll leave it at that. Because if he does, right here, the main event, Franchise Sports Media, woo-hoo, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. Speaking of having a good time, some fun. Well, you know, the UFC was in what? Baku this past weekend. And man, oh man, let me tell you something. It was pretty awesome to see that atmosphere. When the UFC goes to a new country, to a new location, it's pretty cool because the fans are going to show out. The energy is going to be electric. And when the fight cards can go ahead and match up the energy and they give you a good performance, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. The main event, we saw Khalil Roundtree get a decision victory over Jamal Hill. Not going to lie, we said it right here on the show. Did not see that coming. We thought it was going to be fireworks galore. Pew, 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 pew. And somebody was going to go to sleep. Nonetheless, they tried. Roundtree dropped Hill 3-4 times in the fight. They tried. Didn't happen. But that's also why these guys are at the position that they're at in the UFC. They're tough as nails, tougher than a $2 steak, as a great Jim Ross would say. Shout out to Jim Ross there, recovering real good from cancer. But Khalil Roundtree went out there, executed a terrific game plan, leg kicks to Jamal Hill, taking out that right leg, now allowing him to set up that southpaw stance. Now, at times, Khalil Roundtree played it safe. And you say, okay, you know, but you also got to remember, Jamal Hill's a knockout guy as well. And like he said at the end of the fight, the dude is tough to figure out. His awkward stance, it looks like he keeps his hands low, but then he starts throwing those looping hooks, them uppercuts and them straights, and you're like, wait a minute. And then backed up with his power, you don't want to feel that too often. No. So Roundtree did what he needed to do, show that he's able to bounce back and still be a top contender in this division. I would love to see what he does next. Possibly a matchup with Jan Blachowicz. Possibly a matchup with Yuri Prochazka. If Prochazka doesn't get a title shot next, it will be fun to see what happens going forward with Khalil Roundtree. For Jamal Hill, you know, he's suffering some losses in a row, on a bit of a skid right now. One thing with Jamal Hill, and it's something we've seen a couple times in the UFC, and I don't want to be disrespectful to any of these men or women, but sometimes when you get a victory and you upset somebody and you win a title or you win a big fight, it puts you in that atmosphere of now fighting top contenders that maybe you're not ready for yet. Look at Juliana Pena. I said it on the show before. Look at Keith Jardine when he upset Chuck Liddell, when Juliana Pena defeated Amanda Nunes. Holly Holm defeated Ronda Rousey, became champion. Now, she hasn't been champion again, but she has shown time and time again she can compete with them. She just hasn't been able to score those victories. Cyborg, Jermaine Durandamine, Misha Tate, Amanda Nunes. But she's shown, hey, I'm better than everyone else. But when you get that big victory, like Jamal Hill did against Glover Teixeira to be the champion, now you're pretty much set for your next 3 to 5 fights. You're fighting the top guys in that division. And sometimes while you have a hot streak, you may not be ready for all those guys consistently back to back to back. Are we seeing that with Jamal Hill right now? With losses to Pereira, Prochazka, Roundtree, Maybe. But I still think he's clearly top 8, top 10 in the division. But in the UFC, there is no bounce back fights. In boxing, you could lose a fight, have a warm-up fight, have a bounce back fight, come back, you got your confidence, you found your stride again, you worked on some more combinations, and then you can go forward and now and challenge again for a top spot. In the UFC, though, once you get to a certain point, man, oh man, it's going to be a while before you fall off and start getting back down to the prelim card. So for Jamal Hill, make some minor adjustments. Got to be more aggressive and got to learn how to, got to figure out how to put more combinations together to set up his offense better. Because at times in his fights, he looks like he's only trying to look for the big 1-2. Whereas if he's starting to put combinations together, like we saw with Roundtree, leg kicks, body kicks, bam, 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 throwing jabs to the body, coming up top with that leap in left hook. Even though he didn't land it, give you something to think about. So when I throw the right, bam, dropped him. When I throw the left hook, bam, drop him. When I come in, bam, 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 then I go up top, drop him. You got to mix it up a little bit, Jamal Hill. I still think he's a top contender. Will he ever see UFC gold again? I don't know, but I think he's a top contender, but he's got to be able to put combinations together better and learn how to be more aggressive, more consistently, as opposed to plowing and waiting, trying to counter somebody. But that's neither here nor there because Roundtree is moving on and Hill is back to the drawing board. If we were to stick within the world of mixed martial arts, well, let's just go ahead and do that. We got this weekend, UFC 317, International Fight Week. Woo! 2 title fights on the line. In the main event, former featherweight champion Ilia Topuria moving on up to 155, trying his luck to grab gold at the 155-pound limit. He will be taking on for the vacant UFC lightweight championship the former UFC lightweight champion of the world, Charles do Bronx Oliveira, the Brazilian taking on the Spaniard. It is going to be awesome. These 2 guys right here are 2 of the most exciting fighters on the UFC roster. Finishes galore. Oliveira's got like 742 submissions. He's got like 800 more finishes on top of the TKOs. Ilia Topuria knocked out like the last 27 guys he's faced. It has been awesome, awesome, awesome. Knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, knocked out Max Holloway, the only guy to ever do that. Now he gets a chance to take on Dubronx. Dubronx has made you tapped. He's put you to sleep. He's TKO'd you. He's worn the gold at 155 before. International Fight Week. How will it go? Oh my, we in for a good one here. We also got Alexander Pantoja taking on Kai Kara France. Now, they met again on The Ultimate Fighter. Pantoja got the victory there. Pantoja been on an amazing run at flyweight. With this victory here, does he then try to move up for a super fight against Marab at 135 and maybe go for champ status? It'll be interesting, but he got to get past Carl France first. The Kiwi from down under. Boy, oh boy, it's going to be interesting to see how these 2 go at it once again. We also got Brandon Royale versus Joshua Van. I'm hot just thinking about that one. Benario Deliush's on the card. Felipe Lima's on the card. We were going to get Paul LaCoste on the card, but, I guess that secret juice he be having that bottle don't always work for him. He's got to pull out, but we've come to expect that. It is what it is on that particular card, but we'll be sure to see him again. I wanted to bring this up real quick, and I just want to pull everything up because before we get to the UFC, before we get to that, we got an interesting bout coming up. Power Slap 13. Got some potential exciting news coming up with that. Stay tuned. Power Slap 13 is going to be going on the Found Blue Friday night. Man, oh man, we got Dumpling defending the Super Heavyweight Championship against the Hawaiian Hitman himself. He's trying to get some payback for his big bro that lost the title to Dumpling. That should be a good one. In the co-main event at the Light Heavyweight division, we got Wolverine returning. Retired. We thought he was gone. He's back. He's taking on Rivero for the title. We also got Blackburn taking on Rodriguez for the welterweight championship. Ooh, that is going to be good right there. Y'all know Blackburn don't play. 5-0-1. Hey, he ain't smelt defeat yet. Can Rodriguez be the first one to give him a loss, or will Blackburn remain? And still, we got the women going at it as well for the championship. Look, we went to the last one, Power Slap 12. We're hooked. It's awesome. It is freaking amazing to see what these men and women do on that stage, standing toe-to-toe, having to take the slap from one another. It is going to be a lot of fun. We also got the Canelo Crawford press conference going on. Crawford. But it is going down. This is one of those weeks in Las Vegas where you just say, man, I love that I live here. I love that it's right here in my backyard, right down the road. UFC, Power Slap, boxing, it's all mingling together. Woo-hoo! It's not just the summer heat that's burning up out here, guys. It is going down. International Fight Week. Be sure to tune back into the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media, where you get all your latest in combat sports and more on the way. Be sure to tune in for our interviews, our articles. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, fight fans. Peace.